Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, this is the second of the bills you're going to hear today that resulted from the House Select Committee on Community Relations, Justice, Law Enforcement that we had last fall. I'd like to thank the other co-chairs, Representative Hunter and Representative Baker, and also all the members of not only the House who sat in there on both sides of the aisle, but also the members of the community that were there. We had DAs, we had judges, we had law enforcement, we had members of the general public, and we did come up with 13 recommendations that we felt were actionable. There were many other things that we didn't have time to go over. This is one of the actionable ones, and this is a duty to intervene. It creates an affirmative duty on the part of North Carolina law enforcement officers to intervene and report excessive use of force used by another police officer. The reporting officer is required to intervene when he or she observes another law enforcement officer use force that the reporting officer reasonably believes to exceed the amount of force that is authorized in the situation. The observing officer must also have a reasonable opportunity to intervene, and if safe to do so, shall attempt to prevent the unauthorized use of force. The observing officer must then report the unauthorized use of force to superior within 72 hours after observing it, even if the officer did not have an opportunity to intervene. This is similar to in the military, and I think everybody here knows I'm retired military, that there are certain things that you don't do. For example, on the battlefield, if you capture a prisoner of war, you don't summarily execute them. But just like in battle, when police officers have over 30 million traffic stops a year and all the other civic going to houses and going to all these things, sometimes the heat of the moment might get a hold of you. It is not unreasonable to expect another police officer or law enforcement officer to intervene if in the heat of the moment somebody's about to do something that is excessive use of force. So that is the essence of this bill. I certainly appreciate all of our law enforcement officers in the varied and stressful situations that they're in. In fact, some police departments right now and some sheriffs have this policy in force as a policy, but we felt, the committee felt it was necessary to put it into force for across the state. Therefore, smaller police departments, sheriff's departments would also train on this, and they would know that it's okay to do this because it does have the force of law. So while I would yield any questions, I hope I have all your support and I ask you to vote green.